Thank you all for joining us for another workshop brought to you on behalf of the Illinois Coronavirus Response and Relief Business Center. We are a program in partnership with the Chicago Minority Supplier Development Council. If you are a minority owned business who wants to do business with large corporations and you are not already certified to do that, the council is the organization here in the Chicagoland area that you want to be connected with. They help you get that MBE certification, and they have workshop opportunities, conference opportunities for you to talk one-on-one with these corporate buyers who are the true decision makers. So I highly encourage you to get connected with the council. They're a great resource, and they can certainly help you move into the space of government, well, not government, but private corporation or contracts with private corporations. So please get connected with the council. To give you a little bit more information about the ICRR Business Center, our mission is to assist minority-owned businesses in urban and rural areas with understanding and taking advantage of resources and services that have been made available by our local, state, and federal government agencies due to some of that impact that we felt from COVID-19 as small business owners. So the way that we are approaching this support is through education and training provided by subject matter experts like Dr. Henderson today. So we look to focus on areas like finance, supply chain, organizational development, technology, sales, legal support. And we've been open to just bringing in speakers who meet different types of small business needs. So we've had people focus on social media, websites, HR. So definitely, in addition to this workshop, if you are interested, um, go to our website, which you'll get that information later, and look at our archive of workshops that we've done. They're all really great. If you, sorry, if you've not met Dr. Rhonda before, this is going to be our workshop facilitator today. Dr. Rhonda is the facilitator for the PIPE program. This is another educational program under the Chicago Minority Supplier Development Council. So she facilitates that particular program. She's a business professor, a consultant, a mentor, and a realtor designated managing broker. So she is very, very well-rounded in the space that she's in, and I highly encourage you to connect with her on LinkedIn if you're not already connected with her. She's also the owner of Luckbin, and that is the organization who is bringing you this information today. So definitely get connected with Dr. Rhonda. If you've not met me before in person, I'm Christina Wynn. I'm the consultant, one of the consultants for this program. I'm also a business owner, and I like to say that because I always get a lot out of these workshops as well. I'm growing and learning as well. So I always bring in and look to bring in people who can really meet that need that we have as far as education and training. So I'm very excited to have Dr. Rhonda here today. If you need to get in contact with me, if you have questions about anything that was spoken about today, or anything related to the certification process, resources out there for you, please connect with me via email at kwin@chicagomsdc.org. And if you have questions for just our team in general, I ask that you reach us at icrr@chicagomsdc.org. And finally, as we transition into Dr. Rhonda's presentation today, I want to allow you a second to scan the QR code and complete our intake form. This is how you will stay abreast with all the workshops that we have coming down the pipeline. We actually have an in-person event this Thursday, the 16th, at Bordeaux. It is a art gallery on the south side of Chicago. And if you're interested, and if you've not already gotten the correspondence for that, please reach out to me directly and I'll make sure you get that. But if you want to continue to build out your network of corporate buyers, government buyers as well, we'll have those people in the room. We'll have a panel of buyers. So this is certainly a procurement focused event. So I highly encourage you to come out if you can. That is the end of my introduction. So I'm going to close this out here, and then I'm going to pass it over to you, Dr. Rhonda. Stop sharing my screen.
so much, Christina. I
You are
appreciate
very
it.
welcome.
I guess that's the first thing I should do is get my camera on. Okay, there we go. Hi, everyone.
Hello there.
I'm sitting really close to the camera. Okay, that's cool. Let's get these slides going on. I hope everyone's having a great day.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. It's hot outside.
Yeah,
It is.
it is.
So far, so good.
Yes, and I know we've been patiently waiting on this hot weather, but it has definitely swarmed down on us.
Came in swinging.
Came in swinging, exactly. Do you guys see my screen yet?
Not yet.
Okay. About now?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, perfect. So, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for attending. We're talking about competitive advantage, which is very important when you start thinking about your strategy moving forward. So, just to give an overview of what it is we're going to cover today, this training is going to focus on identifying competitors and conducting a competitor analysis, developing a competitive marketing strategy based on creating value, and aligning competitive advantage with effective organizational competencies. So, Christina already shared some information about me, so I can skip quickly over that slide and move right into our discussion for today. So when we think about this whole dynamic of competitive advantage, there's a whole lot of different things that apply. It can be your target market, it can be your marketing strategy, your overall business structure and foundation, how you're advertising, researching, all of those different dynamics. So ultimately, this competitive advantage consists of a unique set of values or qualities that your company has to help set you apart from those businesses that are similar to yours and competing for the same customers in the same industry. So, just to give a textbook definition of competitive advantage, it refers to a condition which enables a party, this can be a sole proprietor, a firm, or sometimes even a country, to operate in a more efficient or otherwise high quality manner than the parties it competes with, and which results in benefits occurring to that party. And so these benefits can be a multitude of things depending on what is the target for that individual firm or company. So just in thinking about having the highest quality product or having the lowest price, these may be two different competitive advantages for a company, but ultimately the competitive advantage is what or the reason why your customers choose your product or service over the competitors. So I like to look at it as your secret sauce. What makes you unique and different from others? So there are some basic types of competitive advantages. And the three main types of competitive advantages are cost advantage, differentiation advantage, and focus advantage. Under cost advantage, this basically refers to the price or your pricing of your product or service. You may offer your product or service at prices that are lower than those that are similar by competing companies, or they may be the same or close to the same, but you may have a better quality or something in regards to that. Now, when you start thinking about lowering the price of your product, oftentimes you really want to evaluate again your target market, because a lot of times what comes with that lowering of price is also a lowering of the quality of the product, because maybe you found a way to find cheaper materials or something of that nature. So you want to make sure that you look at maintaining the quality of whatever product or service that you have as you look to have a cost advantage. Now, with your differentiation advantage, this refers to the specific advantage your brand has over others. So this is what sets it aside from other brands. So it could be your packaging. Maybe you're focused on using more eco-friendly packaging, or you have some other a sustainability element to your product, or maybe you have this outstanding innovation and customer service within your organization. But again, this advantage, basically your secret sauce, what makes your business unique and different, becomes one of those strategies or advantages that your company can have. And lastly, the focus advantage. This here involves targeting a specific audience and just making sure that you can serve them better than anyone else. So what I like about this focus advantage is this particular advantage calls for you to learn as much as possible about your customer. So this here is where you would, and of course, when you start thinking about marketing in general, this is important to develop a customer profile. But when you use this focus advantage, is equally important because it allows you to understand that particular customer, their motivation, the demographic information that you may have about them, a day in the life of that person, and then also their biggest pain point that your business may answer. And so when you have this focus in learning as much as possible about your customer, then you're able to really offer those specific products or services to meet their needs. Any questions or thoughts about that so far? We're a small group here, so anything you want to add or ask, you can jump right on in. Scott, you have something to say?
No, not yet. No, all good.
Oh, okay, cool. Just making sure. So, why is this important? The success of your business, no matter what it is that you do, depends on your ability to define what your competitive advantage is and ensure that it is an advantage that's sustainable over time. So when you really just think about why, and we'll get to this question in 1 second, but why your customers do business with you, this here becomes the thought process and thinking about this competitive advantage. And so the 3 main reasons why it's important that you define your competitive advantage is, first, it allows you to distinguish your company from other competitors. And so this here will be the way that you attract new customers to your business and also keep the loyal ones to your brand. So ultimately, as we're out here developing and growing our business, as important as it is to attract new customers, it's equally important to retain those old customers and allow those people to become brand evangelists of the products and services that we offer. So if there is nothing that makes you stand out against your competitors, then why would your customers continue to choose your company over others that offer different products where they may can get them cheaper or they have better customer service or any of those different things? So just being able, again, to actually distinguish what makes your company different is important. Provide distinct quality is next. With the competitive advantage, you want to be able to highlight a distinct quality that you're offering. And so this here can be your stand apart and also something that stands out to your customers. And also contribute to the brand loyalty and image recognition. And so with that, there are many different products and services out there. And because we don't know what makes those particular products or services special and unique, just that brand and image recognition becomes important in your competitive advantage. And it helps with that retained customer and also the spreading of the word. Am I freezing, guys? It looked like I'm freezing.
A little bit, maybe. But it's okay. It's good.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely freezing because now my computer's frozen.
No.
Sorry. Okay, there we go. No, it went all the way back to the beginning. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. So with all of that being said, I want you to think about our first Q&A here. What is your competitive advantage and how does it relate to your customers? So I really want you to think about this and tell me what you feel is your competitive advantage. And as you take a couple of minutes to be reflective and think about this, I want you to stray away from generic terminology and the generic qualities that your business may have and actually be very specific about what you feel is your competitive advantage or could be your competitive advantage and what matters most to your customers. So I give you 2 or 3 minutes to think about that. Let me know when you guys are ready. Okay, let's begin.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, go ahead, Scott.
So before you got on, I was I was talking to the other people online that I work as a business development rep for a company that does, we actually do branding. We're a branding company. The company is called Silva Brand. So we help companies with their actual branding. So kind of a lot of what you're talking about kind of really resonates with us. So, I was just thinking about like what differentiates Silva Brand, and we're a smaller company. We have several employees, but we're a smaller company than maybe a huge like a Leo Burnett advertising agency type company that. So we'd like to think that we're a little more responsive. We're always available. We can when you reach out to us, we're gonna respond pretty quickly. Tom Silva and the other employees that are involved with some of the branding efforts with these companies, just from the feedback I get from clients is that they're very responsive, very kind of goes above and beyond as far as our efforts are concerned, and the research we do on both the company that we're working for and their competitors to differentiate their brand. So it's kind of all encompassing, really.
All right, perfect. And so is that something that you all recognize was important to your customers, just being able to easily connect with reps and have answers to questions whenever need be, different things of that nature?
Absolutely. I think that's one of the things that a lot of customers have given us feedback on and said that. Absolutely. Yep.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Shirley, how about you?
Okay, so our business, our competitive advantage, we are, and I introduced this before you came on. So my business is Destiny Speaks. It's a speakers bureau, but it's a hybrid speakers bureau where we not only market keynote speakers, but also individuals who speak about what they do every day, where they're an expert. And I market them into corporations for training, consulting, coaching, or whatever their expertise level. And the thing that is unique about what we do is that we have the individuals that I work with, they've created their framework that they take into an organization, but really do an assessment to find out what the real problem is before they deliver a communications training. And it may not be communications, but they may need conflict resolution. And so they have that ability to really go in and to find out what is the real problem and give the organization what they ask for, but also give them what they really need. And we have that ability to then be a resource for them that, because we know that most times when you go into organizations, they do the training. And one of the challenges, what is the return on the investment? And that's because there's no process to really make sure the training is sticking or find out what other challenges come up once that's implemented. And so that's what we do with my clients and my lead or experts that I represent, is that we stay connected with that organization, or that's the mission, so that we can, continue to help them through those processes by seeing, because anytime you solve one problem, something else is going to pop up. And so that's what we are there to do, to continue to do that evaluation, as opposed to some of the others that just come in with a cookie cutter training or a cookie cutter keynote. We really make sure we are delivering the organization what they really need.
Okay. So a lot of your emphasis is steered towards the post-purchase process.
Exactly.
Okay. And you all have recognized that that is something needed or desired by the target audience for your company.
Yeah, so we just kind of did the research to see, what are the complaints that corporations have after they bring in a person to do the training. And part of it, we've seen some of the things that they're saying, that it's too much content. So we have the ability to do bite-sized content and not, do a fire hose of training and give them everything and they can't process it. So we go in and do that. It's really during and after. So we do the pre-care, the during care, and the aftercare, so to speak. And also one of the other complaints is that many times the training doesn't fit the real problem. And that's because enough questions weren't asked in the beginning to find out, okay, do you really have a communications issue? Or do you just need conflict resolution? Or do you need team building? Or do you need something that's dealing with culture? And so, kind of in that process, we can, that's our goal, is to be able to help them identify that real problem.
Okay. All right, cool. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
And so it appears that you both have a understanding of what makes your organizations unique and special, and that is great to hear right now. So with that, we're going to just continue to move forward here. And so, just in before talking about this competitive analysis, just understanding the elements of the competitive advantage is very important. Being able to identify those user benefits, just whatever benefit is directly tied to what you're offering and can be conveyed through your competitive advantage is important. Also, being able to identify the target market that you're catering to. And then, as I stated earlier, really understanding what it is that that particular audience want. And then taking the time to understand the competitors. So if you don't know who your competitors are, there actually is really no way you can define if you have an advantage in your product or service unless you again take that time to really think about who your competitors are. And so the way that you do that is then with this competitive analysis. So your competitive analysis is to determine the strengths and weaknesses of the competitors within your market, strategies that you will provide that will give you a distinct advantage of the barriers that can be developed in order to prevent competition from entering into your market, and also just being able to identify any weaknesses that can be exploited within the product development cycle. So with that, I want you all to think about who is your competition and what is your competitive edge over that competition? How is your company different from others? So we talked about this competitive advantage, and you all were able to pinpoint some really good things as far as Scott stated, with just being able to help with the brand awareness, and Shirley with her post-purchase process, or pre and post, and really ensuring that the customer is getting exactly what it is that they desire. But of course, the assumption is with those industries, especially with both being service businesses, that those companies that compete with you in this space actually are saying the same thing. So what really makes you different? And is there a sustainable value that you can maintain and develop over time within your business so you can continue to grow within your advantage? I know that was a lot, so I'll give you guys a minute to noodle on that. Let's start with the first one. Who are your competitors, your competition? So when we think about this, I want you to think about those direct competitors. These would be companies that are similar in structure, similar in size, similar in offerings, etc. Okay. Go ahead, Scott.
Well, for us, it's the competition is really a lot of companies that are small, like I guess we're considered a smaller company as well, but there's even a lot of people that say they're a branding company and are just, kind of on their own when they might not do as much as we do in terms of all the different services and things like that. Like some companies might say they're branding, but all they do is your website. And we can do the website and get involved with your company logo and your marketing materials. And if you want to put videography on your maybe your LinkedIn page or website, maybe you want to create a video for just your social media or YouTube or things like that. We're kind of all encompassing. So our competition is really these very large companies that like I said earlier, we think we can service better. And then some smaller companies that might not have full-blown branding services. So we're kind of in the middle there, but we provide all of those different types of branding services, and I think that gives us a little bit of a competitive advantage.
Okay. Are you all specific to any one or two industries, or is it just across the board?
Yeah, that's a good question. We really don't, doing what we do, we don't like to say that we specialize in any particular industry. We've worked with companies that do real estate. We've worked with companies that have a product or service. We've worked with the Chicago Sky basketball team. We did their branding and logo and all that stuff. So it really is all types of different companies, and any type of company or service or product firm that needs some sort of branding.
Okay.
Yep.
So are you all able to convey the need of why, or why the need?
Yeah. Well, that's the hardest part, right? Sometimes a company wants to do something with their brand. Maybe their message isn't resonating with the clients they're trying to reach, but maybe they don't want to. It's not always inexpensive to do that, and it also takes a lot of time commitment from the people at that company to work with us, so we get to know their company and can develop a brand and image that resonates with their potential clients. So, sometimes it's the time and money that really is the barrier that I see. So it's not like we can turn around and do that in a week, right? It takes a long time.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know that is one of the things that many small business owners do not understand is the time commitment that goes along with it.
Yeah.
They want to work with a company and outline the strategy and feel it should work immediately, and it's going to take time for that to happen.
It does.
So,
and
sure
that's kind of on our end. We have to kind of explain that and make it make sure it resonates that this time commitment that we're going to do early on, it's gonna be beneficial for down the road.
Right. And that's what I was just about to ask, the time that you all put into explaining that, because a lot of the larger organizations don't necessarily give that play-by-play in regards to that time commitment that it's going to take. It's just like, oh, well, just pay this for 6 months and we'll let you know in 6 months what happened with the campaign, versus giving an understanding of what the campaign is, what the outcomes are going to be, where is it going to be placed, all of those different elements.
Yep.
Shirley, how about you? What's your thoughts?
Yes, as far as who are our competition, we have several category of competitions. From the side of the individuals I represent who are speakers, keynote speakers, or breakout session speakers, of course, we're competing against those individuals who are marketing themselves. And then we compete against the speakers bureaus, whether it's a larger legacy speakers bureau or more small boutique speakers bureaus, such as myself, who are representing a small roster of speakers. And then on the other side, our competition would be those training companies that are already very well known. The Franklin Covey's, the Dale Carnegie's, the Soft Skills, and all those companies that provide the training. And then we have the individuals who are out there, the trainer, the consultant, the coach, who's out there marketing themselves on, on their own. Or there are companies that, a part of the services that they provide, they may have multiple people in their company. And so we have quite a bit of competition. It's a lot to really kind of cut through, to really distinguish who we are. And that's kind of where we're in the process now of looking and putting together what is that thing that really help us to stand out, and how do we take advantage of the way we position ourselves and really communicate that to really stand out against the competition. And I think it's also being and this statement is probably for the next question, so I won't answer it now.
Okay. So if you think about your customer and and go back to the purchase process, and you think about that pre-purchase process. So this here will be where people are looking for, they have identified that they have a need, and they're now looking at different options or alternative to satisfy that need, and then also different companies. So in this era of the self-educated buyer, everyone is looking for various research or resources. They research, they may go to their network to find information. Those particular customers that you have brought in, have you really evaluated how they found you and why they selected you?
Yes, we have, and really one of the methods that we've used, and then I'll just have to backtrack. I did kind of slightly close the business down during COVID because I work for another organization. I went full time with them and rebirthing the business. So the clients, I really was through relationship development. I came from a background of where I was in the meeting planning space with American Bar Association. So still had a lot of contacts that people that I knew through those associations and what have you. And it was a lot of word of mouth. There was a lot of individuals who were in that space of being buyers in corporation that would introduce me to their colleagues and what have you. And so that has been one of our competitive advantage. But during that time, we pretty much focused on just keynote speakers. And so bringing in the concept of going in and doing this process of, beyond the buying, really working, that's something we started before. And it's really, it came to us. It was not, it's just something that appeared to us that this was a need. And so we started seeing that need, and that coming back on building the business from that process of what I saw when we would take people in and they would want more. And I may have had a person who really only had a keynote, but didn't have a process or framework. And so now I'm working with those individuals that have that process and framework. They can go beyond coming in and doing a leadership training. So how do we make this stuff stick? And so that's part of the what we're doing now. And so past business really came from a lot of word of mouth and just reaching out to third party or, introduction, so to speak.
Okay. Okay. So just basically your business relationships that you have.
Yes.
So do you spend any significant effort on business development and just trying to get out there and connect with your network so that they can refer you?
I'm sorry, say that again. My internet went out there. I froze a little bit.
Oh, sure. efforts in regards to your business development so that you can connect with your network more, so they can refer that business? Like,
Yes.
have efforts for that.
Yes. So a lot of it came through networking and being in the presence of, people who are meeting planners, and also knowing the process now of, we will have to reach out to different people inside of a corporation. So the meeting planner may not be my contact for the way we're going now. So it may be the HR director, it may be the director of communication, it may be VP of sales or marketing. And so we're looking at different people that we have to make connections with an association that go beyond, the networking that I had with meeting planners or the people who were the front end of bringing in the speakers and what have you, because we're looking, it's in a different department inside the corporation. And so that is a part of kind of building on the strategy that we use to make the relationships with the meeting planners, and knowing that now we really have to make connections with other buyers inside of the corporations, which is why I'm here to kind of understand how we need to be positioned to go in and have those conversations with the buyers and corporations.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. So then moving on from there, when we just answered this question of who is our competition, I want you to really take the time to identify your current and potential, if you're in your growth strategy phase, competition. Really think about your customer viewpoint. I think it is a very important exercise for business owners to evaluate their organization through the eyes of their customers. And what I mean by that is just going through the process in your business from beginning to end, as if you were the customer. So thinking about how the customer finds out about you, how they find information, what they see when they go online, or what they hear about your reputation, the consistency of your brand. And I'm sure Scott could definitely speak to that, making sure that that is consistent, regardless of if it's traditional or digital marketing, and just really evaluating each step, the expectations that a person has within that actual purchase process, what they expect as far as customer service, what they expect as far as follow-up. So all of those different dynamics, just really evaluate them. And if it's difficult to do, if you have long-term relationships with customers, then it's just great to ask, why do you continue to do business with us? What can we do to better for you, or what's missing? Any of those different dynamics, just so you can really understand the customer's viewpoint. And then just evaluating your competitors' strategies once you have identified them. As we know right now, majority of businesses out here are service-based businesses. And so the industries that you all are in are not necessarily unique. And there's a lot of different players in these particular fields. So just being able to really look and see what they're doing versus what you are doing, and evaluate those strengths or weaknesses that you may have against what strategy that they're developing is important, because again, it can allow you to continuously move forward in the strategy of your business, so that you can get that advantage. So I love the SWOT analysis. I think it's one of the a really great business tool, although it's a lot of simplicity in form. it does help give you all of the information that you need. So when you think about your strength, you're thinking about your capabilities, your expertise, your marketing, how are you building awareness in your business? How are you distributing the information? How's your pricing, your value, your qualities, your processes, the culture of your organization, even just the overall management, what's going on when you're not there and you're passing it on to somebody else. So you want to look at this from the perspective of your business and then against your top 3 competitors. Then with your weaknesses, if there's any gaps in your capabilities, or if you just overall lack a competitive strength, this is the opportunity to be honest with where you are so that you can build. If there's any known vulnerabilities in your business, is there a issue with the employee morale or commitment and buy-in of employees, leadership, supply chain. Oftentimes businesses feel supply chain only applies to product-based businesses, but supply chain also affects service businesses as well. And so just understanding is those issues going to cause for your deadlines to be behind or add more pressure to your team where they can't properly service your customers. Then think about opportunity. If there are any new markets that maybe you can enter into, whether it's a vertical market or horizontal, if you have a need for business or product development, more information or research, if partnership or developing an alliance with a organization will help in developing. Those are the type of things you want to do. Technology development and innovation. Just really think about the different opportunities that could arise for your business. And then, of course, the threats. Political, legislative, environmental, IT development. Just like right now, I got this lagging going on in my computer, that's IT issue. But nevertheless, new technologies or if there's any other obstacles that your business is facing, the economy may have an effect on it. As we look forward and it is predicted that there may be a shift in the economy, how is it going to affect our business? And will companies still have dollars available for the services that we offer? And just finding maybe a new strategy to put in place in case that shift happened. One of the things that I try to stress to small business owners, allow COVID to be your guidance to assuring that you always have an alternative plan in place. COVID was a shocker for many businesses. A lot of them did not survive and they had to go ahead and close their doors or downsize. And so with that, just thinking about your alternative strategy and having that A, B, or sometimes C plan is important to keep your business growing, especially as you think about any threats that may come to your business. So are there any thoughts or questions in regards to the SWOT analysis and using it for this purpose?
For me, it's a great idea. Certainly, it could be very useful, no doubt.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And so again, as you work through it, you want to think about your competitors as well, and your top three competitors, the three names that you always hear come up when your customers or potential customers is looking for service. Okay. So as you really think about developing this competitive strategy, you want to think about these different dynamics. You got your 4 P's of marketing here, right? Product, place, price, and promotion, and then advertisement. Um, Building your brand is very important. Scott, I'm so glad you on here and you made that point early on. I see a lot of small businesses lack in that area, and or just don't understand how to effectively develop that brand recognition. And so oftentimes uh, we are so focused on spreading the word to everyone. All right, that spray and pray tactic versus being very strategic and making sure that we meet that targeted customer. That there definitely makes the difference in where this information is distributed and what type of information is put out there. So really think about those things that you can do to tighten up your marketing strategy in regards to these 4 elements. Any questions or thoughts to that? Nope.
I'm good.
Okay. Okay. And that's basically it. This was a quick overview, and I wanted us to have more of a dialogue here when you start thinking about just a competitive advantage. And when you think about some of those uh, big companies and their textbook, just advantage textbook, it's like, wow, they have done everything right, like an Amazon or a Google. And you think about how they implement the cost advantage, the differentiation advantage, and also the focus advantage in everything that they do. This here becomes something to just think about as you look to develop your strategy a little bit further. And so it is important to stand out from the crowd, and that's ultimately going to be the success driver. And so you want to find a way to really leverage your advantage, but you, of course, have to define it first. And so I've always have stated that there's nothing wrong with going to your trusted circle of customers to find out why they do business continuously with you so that you can further define your advantage and just make sure it's clear and concise. So, with that, questions, thoughts, let's continue this conversation.
Well, that's a good point we just brought up about getting feedback from your existing customers, because I think sometimes not everybody does that, right? And
right.
Getting like a testimonial and just references and that's really important. And sometimes it's you forget to ask that when the project is complete, right? So I think that's a very good point. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And so I feel that oftentimes people don't realize that others are also inundated with technology.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's better to pick up the phone and ask someone and have that dialogue versus only sending a survey. Everyone wants to send a survey monkey or a survey text or something of that nature, and they realize that their response rate is low. I believe the stats on that is less than 30% response rate, depending on what industry it is. And so oftentimes it's probably better to have that as a final touch point to gain that information, especially if you notice it's someone that's consistently coming back and patronizing your organization.
Yeah, for sure. I agree 100%. Yeah.
Yes. Shirley, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, it's interesting because that's one of the things that I have been doing. As I say, I'm coming back into the business, so I reached out to, different people that have hired me, or even those that did not hire me, and just kind of find out what are their biggest challenges. And also, it was important for us as we come out of COVID, and we know I don't think we're going to get back to the normal that used to be. And what was really interesting, I talked to someone and they made the comment that if you are bringing me a training that you presented in 2019, I don't want it because it's irrelevant. So that is something that I found in a conversation of just finding out what are they looking for, what do they need, because most of these people are remote, have hybrid workforce. There are some are remote, some are in house. So what are the challenges? And so going into it from that perspective, and I've had some of those conversations, which is really a part of those conversations is what really started me on this journey of reframing the business so that our business is positioned to answer those questions. Knowing that a lot of the training that people are getting is somewhat of coming out of a cookie cutter, and they're just throwing it at them, but it's nothing that is customized. We have the basic framework, but being able to bring in what their real issues are and address it in the training, as opposed to just say, this is how you communicate with people, without taking into considerations that, and it was one thing, and I don't want to monopolize this conversation, but out of that, having a conversation, one of the things that came up was a person said, our managers who are micromanagers are having a hard time.
They are.
Yeah. And so, because, you can't call someone at home and say, what are you doing? And when you're working or, seeing that they're online. And she said that one of the managers had all of their staff had to be on Zoom while they were working, even if they weren't in a Zoom meeting, but they had to open up on Zoom so she can go and see that they were working. And right. So, and just understanding that it's a different type of training that's needed because we're faced with different issues now.
Absolutely.
And so definitely having those conversations, and it was just picking up the phone and not sending out a survey monkey, which I initially started to do. But then I said, well, you know what, let me just call a few people from the past and let them know we're back and see what they need. And so, yeah, this is confirming, and it is really helping me as I kind of finish up this process so we can really launch out and knowing that we're in the right direction.
Awesome. It is interesting when you just think about the new norm, as you called it. And it's like there's so many people that they're fine with working from home or not working in a traditional setting, as far as the 9 to 5 and being in a brick and mortar, rather have that flexibility to work remote or at home or on the go or whatever have you. But there's also a lot of people that discuss the cabin fever and also the Zoom burnout.
Yes.
When COVID first started, that Zoom burnout was bad. I mean, it's like everything was on Zoom. I couldn't stand it after a while.
Yeah.
And I have noticed now where people were very engaged in these spaces, and they had their cameras on and they're ready to meet and go. now it's a lot of people that just log on and just listen. They don't unmute, they don't turn the camera on, they don't engage, etc. And so when you're just thinking about um, whatever is coming next in the business, just making sure that this hump that we're in now doesn't have an adverse effect on moving the business forward because people are lacking engagement in these different platforms.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Absolutely, yeah. And one of the things that also came out of the conversation is that, you know, we all know the whole mental health thing is a hot topic, but in corporations, it's not as much of a stigma, so they're kind of making it more something that, you know what, yeah, we're going to talk about our mindset, we're going to talk about our mental health, we're going to talk about our mental wellness, as opposed to when a person before would say, hey, I need a therapist, then, you know, their job may have been in jeopardy. And so they're seeing those things differently, and so they're attaching that differently. And you know, and it's like one of the things that the trainers I have, a lot of what they do is all about mindset and being able to talk about those things and incorporate it. So it's just, you know, COVID has exposed a lot of weaknesses that we had in our business system, but it's also an opportunity for people who are visionary and just will come in that have, as I say, they have the eyes to see what's really going on and see what's beyond going on, and can really bring solutions, real solutions, and just not the status quo that this is how you do communications. You know, you look people in the eye and talk to them, and you nod your head. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so I just hope that, and I know that we were quick because these are quick little sessions here, that this time together just gave you a little insight or a little things to noodle on as you move forward and think more about your competitive advantage. And so as you see on the screen, I have my phone number and my email there. I'm a major advocate of the small business community, here to help in any way I possibly can. So if there is anything you guys want to talk about specific to your organization, please do not hesitate to reach out, and we can have that more specific conversation as it relates to you.
Appreciate it. Your time today was great. Thanks for going over all that.
Oh, no problem. No problem. And
Absolutely.
so I know I'm a bit 10 minutes behind, but I wanted to give you guys your 10 minutes back. So,
all right.
and I apologize for the login issues that I had early on.
It happens. That's all right.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, and thank you. It was great to be kind of an audience of two here.
Oh, absolutely. And if you guys can make it on Thursday to the, it's actually called Bordeaux Griffin Design Center, that would be awesome. It's on 82nd in Princeton. 82nd in Princeton, right off of the expressway. And so it should be a great networking time for small business owners and just being able to connect with the various government entities that's out there.
Yeah.
And it's free. And so I've noticed now that people are ready to go back to having experiences and connecting and going to network safely, going to networking events. So that's kind of
Absolutely.
Well, great. Well, I can't make it on Thursday, unfortunately, but I do I've been trying to get to more in-person events. I was at the last couple MSDC events, but I hope to see you at a future one.
Oh, absolutely, Scott. I look forward to meeting you one day.
Same here. Same here.
All righty. Have a great day.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. Christina, I can't stop the recording on my end.